Hi there, I just want to do a video. And this will be my last video of today. Probably be going to bed in a few hours. And this video will be about, as the picture is, you've got a hand controlling the brain. And that's what reality is like. It's you don't tell the rats they're in a cage. And that's what it is. It's everything comes from the top. The name of the game is domination, but the system doesn't want to know that they're dominating you. So instead of going into a piece of land and killing off all the people, and then their people becoming the children, and the future, they're doing it in a mind way. That's the worst way to. Well, it's the easiest way to control someone, is through the mind. And I just want to talk a bit about this. It's like intelligence. There's a perception of intelligence that is completely insane. That intelligence on this reality is perceived to be someone that is just memorizing things and memorizing stupid things. And there's no self-awareness in this. There's no self-awareness in these kind of people. And this is the kind of thing they'll tell their children to go to school and just repeat what a teacher says. And see, more divine intelligence, what I learned from the spiritual awakening process that I'm going through, is that real intelligence, divine intelligence, is being more aware of things like what is this information I'm being given? What is it going to do to me? Having that awareness of information or what it might do to you is a higher level of intelligence than someone that's just repeating things without questioning it. And that's what I wanted to do a talk about. It really is insane with a lot of people how they think that intelligence is just someone repeating things. Or they think intelligence is numbers or maths, when all this stuff is just to distract you. Why do you think they invented maths and numbers? What's the point to it really? Does it bring happiness? No. Does it make you go within and access your divinity? No, it distracts you from these things. Zen is all about being simple and here and present. These maths and numbers, when I was a kid, I wasn't very good at maths. That's because I didn't pay attention to it. I knew from an early age that it was stupid. Why am I getting all these numbers? Why? What's the point to it? Why? What does it really enhance? Because if you're not giving me happiness, then there's no point to it. Right? If you're not bringing me joy, then what's the point? There's no point. Life's too short to be unhappy. And I just wanted to do a talk of that, really, And that's this controlling force. Like the hand up, and it's controlling the brain. And it has controlled the brain, and that's what it's doing. Giving people a perception of intelligence, even so-called spiritual people. Not the ones that have had the spiritual awakenings, people that would do a course or something like that, and they still haven't woke up yet. They haven't become self-aware. That's what awakening is. Spiritual awakening means you've become self-aware. It means you're aware now. You're a higher level of intellect now, where you're thinking with your heart space. You're feeling things because the heart space knows the solution, whilst the head just thinks. The ego is in the head. There's nothing intelligent about the head once you realize what it does. That it's basically ego driven, and the brain, is just ego driven, but the heart space is intuitive. It's intuitive. It understands things. It knows things. And that's what starts happening once you start spiritually awakening. You start going within your heart space and shifting your perceptions through the heart intelligence. And then it builds a relationship with the brain. And this is what's going on in this global awakening. But there is still confusion about intelligence, and the ability to repeat information which has been made up for you. That's not very intelligent, whilst you're not even thinking or aware of what that information is going to do to you. That's not very bright. That's very stupid. It's nothing to do with intelligence. It's just, maybe it's a little bit of ego. They think that they're going to get something by repeating. And as if the system would actually make anything to make you better. They're not going to do that. Everything that has been put there for you has been put there to dumb you down and to make you very not intelligent. But it's scientific fact now that the real intelligence is within the heart area. There's a place in America, I don't know where about, but it's called the Heart Math Institute. And they talk about this, and it's science now, that the heart area is the way to happiness. It's the way to healing. The brain, when it heals you, is working with the heart area. But that's where it's like there's a hand outside the cage, the rat's cage, but the rats don't see. They think they're free, you see. They shake their fists at war and say, we are free. Basically, they're saying we're free because of war, but no, you're not free. You're only free to repeat the system's information. You're free to conform to the system's way. But you're not free to think outside the box. Because if you do that, you'll be seen as crazy by the ones that are locked into this mind box, if you will. They're locked into it, and they can only see from that angle within that mind controlling. We go to school. What happens in school? We're just repeating. If we don't repeat, we get into trouble. There's nothing intelligent also about auras or colours or... Remember, everything's made up. Everything comes from nothing. And if people aren't aware of this, then that's not very intelligent. All that we really have from nothing is awareness, and after that just comes imagination. And as it's one awareness, that we're all the same awareness, that means that everything going on is just the imagination within that awareness. You see? And numbers, like I say, numbers, and the reason they focus hard on that in school is in maths, is to distract you from the fact that everything's just the same one thing. Nothing. Everything comes from nothing, so that's what it is, it's nothing. And Zen thinking is all about being that. And people think that Zen and spiritual development is so intelligent. But the reason they think this is because their intelligence has been taken from them with all this confusion of numbers and maths. Well, it doesn't actually mean anything. That's it. It doesn't actually mean anything. The maths that people think and scientists think exists within space is to do with awareness. Awareness coordinates everything in reality from nothing. And that coordinates all forms and everything, and I believe that the awareness is love. And the reason it's love is because as soon as you exist From nothingness, you've got this endless gratefulness because you exist. And that's why the love is infinite. And I believe this love is the coordinator for all existence, and that's what love is, and that's what we all are. But remember, all numbers are just made up. We're made up by somebody. Everything's made up by people who are no more smarter than you. That's what Steve Jobs said, and it's true. Just made up. And you know, it's like Nikola Tesla spoke about numbers as well, but he was talking about a deeper understanding of it. He even said that intelligence is a divine thing, it's God. So he was talking about beyond the numbers. Remember, everything's symbolic. And numbers were created, I think, to be that. To be symbology, because they've got shapes to them. That's all they are, shapes. Shapes, that's it. And shapes can have very symbolic meanings of things. You know, they can even relate to each other. But they're just made up shapes and form and ideas. That's what everything is, but it doesn't mean anything. You know, in science, the numbers is a way to explain how everything is coordinated by a life force. But like I say, the life force, if it comes from the nothing, then it's still the nothing. It means that everything is just nothing. Awareness from the nothing. And the intelligence that we think is intelligence, repeating and memorizing, isn't very intelligent. If you're not having the awareness to go with it, awareness of, why am I repeating this? Why am I getting made to repeat this? What is this doing to me? You know, what we really need is to become more aware of things and aware of what things might do to us, what it might not do to us. What are the benefits? Self-awareness, that is the next level of human intelligence, the next level. You know, and that's when you've entered the fourth dimension and fifth dimension. You know, that's real intelligence, awareness of things. And that's how you have a happy life, by being aware. Asleep really means you're not self-aware. You're just repeating the programming that is made up by the system, but there's over 7 billion people on the planet. So the system perspective is one perspective, but within 7 billion perspectives on one planet. So it's all illusory when you think about it. All craziness. And all because of this hand that operates things from the top. And I just wanted to do a talk really about that, about intelligence, the fact that everything comes from nothing. So identifying with chakras or colours or any of these illusions are part of the dream. It's just a dream that can come from nothing. You can't have form within nothingness. So you're just dreaming of form, you're dreaming of colours, you're dreaming of everything. It's just the imagination from the dream that is making everything seem like it is. And when you meditate upon these ideas that I'm talking about, you really see that it's all illusory. It's all just nothing. But I'm just going to end it there. I just wanted to do a very insightful, common sense talk. You know, it's crazy that I have to point out these things. But thank you for watching. Thank you very much. Thank you.